The NBA has a problem. Ratings and interest in the sport have been going down over the last couple of years. What exactly is causing this? Well, it's a bit of a complicated issue. In this video, I'm going to talk about three of the main reasons why I think ratings and interest and overall enjoyment of the NBA is going down. Let's get right into it. One of the most problematic issues that the NBA is currently facing is that it's actually hard to watch an NBA game. What do I mean by that? Well, League Pass costs $110 for the season, which isn't a problem in itself, but you don't get every game. An example of this is I live in New York City. If I want to watch the Knicks or the Nets play on League Pass, I can't because they get blacked out. Why do they get blacked out? Well, because I live in this area, the NBA assumes that I have MSG and Yes Network, the local channels for the Knicks and Nets respectively, to be able to watch those games. I do, but not everybody is as fortunate. You also don't get access to national televised games. Again, maybe people only have enough money to pay for League Pass and not pay to watch cable or pay for another streaming service to get national televised games. So this is a problem where access isn't available to everybody. Due to this, people are taking matters into their own hand by illegally streaming the games. By illegally streaming the games, this is directly impacting the ratings, and I believe this is one of the reasons why the ratings are so low in the NBA. Problem number two is the play style. It's no secret that every team in the league is launching threes at a ridiculous rate, and the team that hits the most threes more than likely is the team that is winning the game. As a fan who grew up watching the NBA in the mid 2010s, the 2010 era, a lot of teams had a unique play style that you just don't really see a lot nowadays. That is changing, but it's still not the same. An example is this: is like back then, 2012, 2013, you watch the Spurs play. They're playing complete team basketball. They're swinging the rock. Everybody's touching the ball. They're giving the ball to the open man. All that stuff. And like, wow, that play style still around today. It's definitely a little different when the best shot you get in is only an open three. Another example of play style is Lob City Clippers. Very fast pace, up and down team, or the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies, slow pace. You knew the game wasn't going to be over 100 points scored. You knew every time they're going to take 20 or the whole shot clock to get a shot off. Like, we don't see those kind of play styles in the NBA anymore, which is a positive and a negative. And I'm putting this in the negative category, but there's also ways you could spin this in a positive way. Speaking of three pointers, I made it a negative, but again, it's not exactly a negative because Steph Curry is one of the reasons why ratings actually went up last time the ratings went up. Steph Curry is known for launching threes, and he was the biggest draw for the NBA at one point in his career. How you can even look at the WNBA and see Caitlin Clark, who has a similar style to Steph Curry, by launching ridiculous threes and making them, is impacting the ratings in the WNBA. So three pointers aren't exactly the issue. I think the issue is what's the difference between Curry doing it and all 30 teams in the NBA doing it. In my opinion, there really isn't a clear difference between the two. However, it does lead to a lot more sloppiness. What I mean by this is if both teams are hitting at a similar rate, the game is going to be a good game, close competitive game. On the flip side, if one team is hitting more threes than the other, then you usually get a blowout, and we do see a lot of blowouts these past couple of seasons, and that's just boring basketball to watch. The third problem that I'm going to point to is actually the media itself. I don't see a lot of people bringing this issue up. The personalities that talk about the NBA on TV, whether that's TNT or ESPN, they don't do a good job of promoting the game. For all the love that the TNT crew gets, Shaq, Charles, Ernie, Kenny, those guys, they don't respect the current product, in my opinion. Just recently, Charles Barkley commented on the Houston Rockets, saying they don't know how to win basketball games, and they are currently a top three seed in the NBA. I get that they're a young team, I get that they're inexperienced, but you don't win by accident in the NBA. Don't even get me started on how ESPN covers the NBA. Compare ESPN's coverage of the NFL to the NBA, and there's a clear stark difference between which product gets more love. when you watch the people covering the NFL, you could tell that they love the game, that they love the sport, that they love the current players and the current product. And I just don't get that same sense of love watching NBA, ESPN coverage from Stephen A. Smith or Malika Andrews or anybody else who they have on the cast. It's just this very stark difference, and I'm just not a fan of it personally. There are definitely more problems that the NBA have that are facing, and these are just three of the many problems that I believe they're facing right now. I believe that every problem I listed is easily fixable, which is actually a good thing because that means the NBA is not really in a bad situation that people might want to make it seem like, and that since these issues are fixable, they should be fixed as soon as possible. In my personal opinion, I don't really care about the ratings. I don't pay attention to ratings, but I do find myself losing interest when I watch basketball nowadays sometimes, and I don't want to lose interest in basketball because I love the sport, I love the game. But just lately, I find myself enjoying the NBA less and less. I will always love basketball. Like many fans and supporters, I just want what's best for the sport, what's best for the product, and what's best for the game we love. My name is Reborn. This is my first YouTube video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.